What up, gang? I'm back with another video. Let's get straight into it, man. This right here is top Tesla biggest crashes in 2022. And the reason why I'm doing this reaction for two things, man, because one, I do not trust Tesla all the excuse me, rewind it back. One, I do not trust Tesla autopilot, man. I look at it like this. This is a computer. It's ran by a computer. Our computers crash all the time. Our computers get viruses all the time. So how can you really sit back and let a computer drive for you? I see people get arrested, get pulled over for sleeping in their car while it's on autopilot. Like, I just don't have the good conscience in my brain to sit back and let a computer drive for me and hold my life in his hands. Y'all, hey, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. So that's one reason why I'm doing this video. Another reason is because I got road rage just a little bit. I got road rage just a little bit. You feel me? Because listen, it's not that I'm just impatient. It's not that I'm frustrated. I look at it differently. I look at it like this. You got people that cut in front of people. You got people that turn in front of people and be going slow while another car behind it going 50 miles per hour. So you turn in front of a car or switch lanes and get in front of a car that's going 50 miles per hour and you doing 15, 25. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that stuff like that. People don't realize the little mistakes they make just from being impatient or whatever it is or rushing can cause somebody life. And I see it every day while I'm on the road driving, and it frustrates me. Like, I tell my son when I be driving, he be like, "Daddy, it ain't that serious. Why you getting that mad?" I be like, because that little mistake, that simple mistake that driver just did, it could have caused somebody their life. So this why I'm, you know what I'm saying, reacting to this video just to show y'all, like, you know what I'm saying? For one, that autopilot Tesla thing, I don't trust it. I do not trust it. Two, you feel me? Just be cautious, man. Drive for you and others. It's a green light. You still got to look both ways because people run red lights every day. Let's get into it, man. And hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button to support the channel. And let me know in the comments, is this something that y'all want me to constantly do? Do reactions. Like, this something new for me. So y'all got to let me know. Is y'all feeling this or what? It's all about y'all. But I just want to do this because this is a big issue in the world today. Let's check it out.
Here so far. Enjoy. Max was driving his Model 3 down the highway in Oak Grove, Kentucky. He was in the right lane using autopilot when he approached a semi-truck driving in the left lane. The truck had been riding in the left lane for a few miles, so Max decided to continue past him in the right lane. Just as he was passing, the truck driver changed lanes, clipping the back end of the Tesla.
Dang. So it ain't even Tesla fault on this problem.
That caused the Model 3 to spin out in front of the semi, but the driver didn't notice and just kept driving, pushing Max along in front of him at 70 miles per hour. Autopilot warned Max just before the two vehicles made contact, but it was too late for him to avoid the accident. He also says Autopilot attempted.
I want to say this. Is it just me? Y'all put in the comments. When you get on the side of a semi-truck, you speed up and haul ass. Is it just me or is it y'all too? I hate riding on the side of a semi-truck, bro. Like, that's just one of my biggest fears. Like, riding on the side of a semi-truck. I get on the side of a semi-truck, I speed up. I don't give a damn.
Attempted to steer away from the truck, but the force of the semi pushing it was too much for the steering to fight back against. The semi pushed Max for approximately a mile before the driver finally stopped, apparently because he felt that there was something wrong. He felt some resistance against his truck, but he never saw the Tesla. It wasn't until the truck completely stopped that the driver finally saw people jumping out from in front of him. When he opened his door, he saw the Tesla for the first time. Let this be a lesson. Blind spots are dangerous. Police were called to the scene, and the Model 3 was towed to a body shop. The truck driver was found to be at fault, and the repair estimate came to $20,000 US. No. Repairs took 2 months to complete due to parts delays. Max had only owned his Tesla for a few weeks, so it has now spent more time in the shop than it spent being driven. He's looking forward to getting back behind the wheel. Alan says he's always had full confidence in autopilot. At least he did until this happened. He was stuck in stop-and-go traffic, so he'd set his follow distance to the closest setting. But then traffic cleared up, and his Tesla had sped up to 55 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. This is when traffic suddenly piled up, and a Honda stopped too quickly for autopilot to react in time.
See what I'm saying? See what I was just telling y'all about that. I was just telling y'all I cannot trust autopilot.
Took over at the last second, but he wasn't able to avoid a collision. Tesla drivers can set a follow distance from 1 to 7, a setting which determines how much distance you want to maintain between your Tesla and the vehicle ahead of you. Each setting corresponds to a time-based distance that represents how long it takes for the Tesla, from its current location, to reach the location of the rear bumper of the vehicle ahead of you. Alan told us he has since set his follow distance to the maximum setting of 7. The highway patrol arrived, and everyone involved in the accident was unharmed. An insurance claim was filed at the scene, and the initial estimate to repair Alan's Tesla was $7,000 US, but the total cost ended up being $25,000 US, and repairs took 4 months to complete.
Damn it, man.
Nicky was driving his Model Y south on I-5 in Portland, Oregon. He was driving at 40 miles per hour when he overtook a pickup hauling a camper. Nicky saw that traffic ahead was slowing down, but the pickup driver didn't notice in time and ended up plowing into a car hauler at full speed.
Damn.
Nicky noticed the driver wasn't slowing down, so he quickly swerved to avoid being involved in the collision.
Damn.
Nicky called the police, and both drivers ended up being okay.
That right, that was
He
crazy.
was driving his Model Y in Los Angeles, California, when traffic
He probably was on the
lanes to
phone
left had
texting
all
or something.
stopped. He moved over to the right lane to get a clear path. As he approached a traffic light, the light turned green and he started to cross the intersection. Unfortunately, the stopped vehicles in the left lane blocked his view of a red light runner.
See what I was saying? You still got to be cautious, even though you got the right of way.
Tesla spinning it around. The bumper ripped out a signpost and shattered it into pieces.
And that's why I like Tesla too, though.
Hilariously, the
because it got cameras all around that motherfucker.
Caused all this mayhem, rested calmly next to the wrecked Tesla, but the driver wasn't as calm. The driver of the Honda got out and walked over to Keith, but then he rushed back to his banged-up Honda and sped off, making this a hit-and-run. Even though the Honda driver left his bumper cover at the scene of the crime, there was no license plate on it. The car didn't have license plates at all, for that matter. He called the police, but they informed him they wouldn't be responding to the scene because he was uninjured and it was only a hit-and-run.
I thought hit-and-run was illegal.
He filed an insurance claim. His car is still in the repair shop.
Where they at?
Andrew was driving down the freeway in Lake Forest, California, when he saw a silver Jeep abruptly stopping and about to enter his lane. As Andrew started to go around him, a white Jeep rear-ended the silver Jeep, causing it to crash into the side of Andrew's Tesla and pushing him into a lane of faster-moving traffic.
See what I was... Listen, everything I said at the beginning of my video, this shit is...
The white Honda Odyssey said she wasn't expecting another car to suddenly be in her lane, so she didn't have time to brake before rear-ending the Model Y. There ended up being 6 vehicles involved in the accident. After the white Jeep rear-ended the silver Jeep, it continued to plow through and rear-ended a BMW. The silver Jeep was also rear-ended a second time by a white Mercedes. The California Highway Patrol arrived on scene to take a report. Andrew is still waiting on the final verdict from the police report and action from his insurance provider, but the officers at the scene did indicate that the driver of the white Jeep will most likely be found to be at fault.
Man, everything that I said in the beginning of my video is happening on this video, bro.
Justin was driving his 1-month-old Model S Plaid in Washington Township, New Jersey. He had his 6-month-old son in the back seat, and autopilot was engaged. He was driving straight down the road when an oncoming car crossed the double yellow lines and drove into him.
Boom!
Justin immediately checked on his son in the back seat, and he was just giggling as if he was having the time of his life. The The
Hell,
other
don't even
driver
know.
ended up in someone's front yard on Justin's side of the road. Emergency services were quick to arrive at the scene, and officers issued the other driver a ticket for failure to maintain their lane. Justin only sustained a busted lip and some neck pain, but his car was not so lucky. Justin filed an insurance claim, and the repair estimate from Tesla came in around $80,000 US. In the end, Justin's insurance company deemed the car a total loss. They cut him a check for almost $150,000 US, which included the price of the car and all the extra features like autopilot, as well as his custom wrap. Justin is hoping Elon will see this and give him early access to one of the new colors, Deep Crimson, Abyss Blue, or Mercury Silver, for his new Plaid Model S. Justin visited his car at the scrapyard where he took this final video of his beloved Tesla. As you can see, he titled the video, "She's Total." But she also might have saved your son's life, Justin. I consider that an absolute win. Thanks for sharing, Justin. It's sad to see that our first submission from a Model S Plaid owner ended up being a crash video. It definitely was intense, but keep watching, because this episode is about to get a whole lot crazier.
If y'all want to support the channel, my Cash App down there in the banner.
Georgia. She wasn't using autopilot since she was driving on a bumpy local road with a speed limit of only 25 miles per hour. As she crossed through an intersection, a woman in a Ford F-150 ran a red light, T-boning her Tesla. The entire rear axle broke off as she continued forward. She tried to brake frantically, but the brakes didn't respond. Luckily, she wasn't on a very steep slope, so the Model Y didn't pick up much speed, but she still managed to roll into a parked work truck. The lady in the Ford tried to tell Gina that she had a green light and that it was Gina who ran a red light. Police arrived quickly to the scene, and when the officer reviewed the Tesla cam footage, he told Gina, "Oh, you're good, definitely her fault." Gina asked if we could give a shout out to her 9-year-old nephew, J.S. He's a huge Tesla fan, and he's the one who told her to send this video to Wham Bam Tesla Cam. Nice job, J.S.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Wham Bam Tesla Cam.
Jalen was driving his Model 3 in Rockford, Illinois. As he approached an intersection, the light turned yellow. This intersection has a rather long yellow light, so Jalen says he knew he had time to make it. The car coming toward him seemed to think he was going to stop and turned in front of him. The Chevrolet hit the side of Jalen's Tesla, which sent it up on a curve where it got some hang time before crashing back down. Jalen managed to regain control, brake, and steer away from the SUV in the lane in front of him. Everyone involved in the accident ended up being okay. Jalen thinks both of them could have avoided this accident, but in the end, it was determined that Jalen had the right of way. The police were quick to arrive, and they both filed their respective insurance claims at the scene. Jalen is working with the insurance companies, but so far it looks like they're going to total the car since it sustained over $40,000 in damage. Jalen wants us to give a shout out to his friend Felipe, who told him about the Wham Bam channel to send the footage in. Thanks, Felipe. Marcel was driving home in his Model X one rainy night on the German Autobahn. As he approached a semi-truck, the driver started to merge into his lane. Marcel didn't react in time to avoid a collision, so he lost control and crashed into the trailer.
Come on, man. Boom.
Marcel was alone in the car, and he was fortunately uninjured. The truck driver said he didn't think the accident was his fault, and that it was actually Marcel's fault for crashing into him. Police arrived while they...
What y'all think, man?
The police were able to view the Tesla cam footage inside Marcel's Tesla right there on the highway, and they immediately found the truck driver to be 100% at fault for making an unsafe lane change. Marcel filed an insurance claim with the truck driver's insurance provider, and since the initial repair estimate from Tesla was $60,000, the car has been deemed a total loss.
That's crazy.
Aaron was driving his Model 3 on a highway in Pennsylvania when he was hit by a driver who was cruising seriously fast.
Damn!
Luckily, everyone walked away from the crash uninjured. The police were called, and the other driver was found at fault because they'd been texting.
Do not text and drive, man. Even though I do it sometimes, do not do it.
His insurance agent told him that they'll likely declare the Tesla a total loss. Let's watch that one more time on multicam. Tesla cam.
That's the best feature Tesla have. They got cameras all around that motherfucker.
This Model 3 owner was driving in downtown Los Angeles, California, when a Honda made a left turn in front of her.
Boom! Why? You're not even in the turning lane.
Right into the Honda. Emergency services were quick to arrive at the scene, and an argument about who was at fault ensued. The police reviewed the Tesla cam footage while still at the scene and saw clearly that the Honda driver didn't use their.
How the hell she gonna argue who was at fault?
Left turn. There's even a no left turn sign hanging from the traffic light. All the airbags in the Tesla had deployed, and it was declared
shit like that have me pissed. I be wanting to fight.
3 weeks of medical treatment for her injuries, but thankfully she's now back on her feet.
And she got a check.
H. Paul was driving his Model 3 in Sterling Heights, Michigan. He was sitting at a red light waiting to cross a street with traffic lined up in front of him. Traffic had left a gap in the line for him to cross when it was his turn, so when the light turned green, he started to sneak out to make his way through it.
Oh, I told you, look both ways, though.
One car ran a red light and hit him straight on.
Boom! I tell you, look both ways, no matter what.
Actually made us an animation to help us understand what had happened. Here he is in the blue car.
Okay.
When the light turned green, the red car came speeding through the red light and hit his Tesla.
Boom!
Police arrived at the scene and wrote a ticket to the other driver. H. Paul has submitted an insurance claim and is waiting for their verdict. By the looks of it, we're guessing the insurance company will declare the Tesla a total loss.
That shit make me want to fight if I... Like, why y'all ain't paying attention? Pay attention.
Was driving his Model 3 on Highway 401 in Toronto.
They go another semi.
Just as he passed a semi-truck, he noticed a car spinning out up ahead.
So why you ain't stop?
Both Noah and the semi-truck slowed down, but the driver of a Cadillac behind them misjudged the situation and tried to overtake the semi-truck, causing them to crash into Noah's Tesla. Noah says autopilot kicked in after the accident, helping him steer between the cars ahead of him, but it couldn't stop him in time, and he still ended up hitting the red car that had initially spun out and caused everyone to stop. The red car then drove off, leaving Noah behind at the scene of the accident.
Damn.
The Cadillac driver told the police that he thought someone was going to hit him, so he tried to avoid them, hitting Noah in the process. Unfortunately for them, the footage shows this wasn't the case. Noah was able to walk away from the crash, and he adds he's infinitely grateful to Elon Musk and Tesla's team for creating this car. Damon was sitting at a red light in his Model 3 in Grand Prairie, Texas, when an SUV...
I was just finna say that. I'm looking at all these crashes, and I haven't seen one Tesla car like crumble. It got bad damage, but I haven't seen one yet to crumble. And that's good. I was just finna say that.
SUV on the opposite side of the road suddenly ran the red light and started across the intersection. The SUV was T-boned by another car from the left, which
didn't hit his
holding onto its roof before slamming into Damon's Tesla. Damon jumped out and rushed over to the driver of the SUV, who was hanging upside down inside the car. Damon asked, "Are you okay?" He responded that he was, and Damon helped him out of the car. Once out, the guy asked Damon, "Did I run that red light?" Damon just nodded his head. They checked on the other driver, and luckily,
the
police arrived moments later.
I got road rage just a little bit.
They could view the Tesla cam video right inside Damon's Tesla. Thanks to the footage, they easily determined who was at fault, which also helped with the resulting insurance claims. Damon was able to drive his Tesla away from the crash site, and he's now waiting for a repair estimate from Tesla. Join large-scale battles with military vehicles. The online action game War Thunder.
I just went and got an estimate on my car. I was in quick little story real quick. I went through a drive-through car wash, and it was like a big monster truck, pickup truck in front of me, big fat tires. And as he's going through the car wash, his tires so fat, they didn't really fit in between the rails that pushed the car along through the car wash, and his truck jumped the rail. But the machine was still pushing cars into his truck. and it cracked my front bumper. I just went to Dodge and got a estimate. So I'm finna get a new bumper, new everything. Think about getting some custom bumper or something.
Texas, when the driver of a pickup truck started to block him on the highway. Deshaun says he had no idea what the other driver was up to and that he'd done nothing to aggravate him. He knew that a road rage incident involving a shooting had occurred on this highway recently, so that information was fresh in his mind. He split between cars in an attempt to put some distance between himself and the other driver. The truck driver followed his lead and started to catch up to him. He finally pulled up alongside the Tesla, and Deshaun says he saw the other driver was pointing something at him. Deshaun decided to make a run for it by taking a late exit.
Damn!
Deshaun couldn't tell what the guy was pointing at him, but he assumed it was a gun. He says he didn't see the other car in the exit lane, and there was also a barrier in his way. He barely avoided the barrier, but he ended up hitting the other car. When the police arrived, Deshaun tried to show them his Tesla cam video, but his car had shut down and he couldn't open the door to access the SSD drive. Without the video evidence, the cops told him they couldn't do anything about the truck driver's behavior. Luckily, the occupants of the other car were uninjured. Deshaun apologized to them for what had happened and took full responsibility for the accident. Deshaun's Model S Plaid was deemed a total loss by his insurance provider. He's placed an order for a new one, and it's being delivered this week. NM was driving his Model Y south on US Route 101 in San Luis Obispo, California. Rain was pouring down, and he was driving 5 miles per hour below the speed limit with autopilot disengaged. He knew that sudden acceleration or braking might cause the car to hydroplane, so he was feathering the accelerator, but he still lost control. The Tesla hydroplaned into oncoming lanes. To sheer luck, NM managed to miss nearly all of the northbound lanes, but his luck ran out and he hit the rear axle of a big rig. His tires had around 16,000 miles on them. They were in good condition and not bald at all. NM says it was a miracle that he and his family were able to walk away from the accident, considering the amount of damage to the car.
Before I go on, I just want to say this. One thing that I will say, I don't know if this on all Dodge Chargers. I got Dodge Charger. I was at a light the other day and the ground was wet. It was raining. And I hit the gas to zoom cross and my car spent out and started fishtailing. And I got something on my car where if it feel like the car is spinning out or it's losing control, the whole car just shut down. The wheels will stop. Everything will lock up and shut down. I didn't know that until I just did that. I'm like, that's a good feature right there. Because instead of that right there, what just happened, and he's sliding, it just automatically shut the car down. So that's a good feature right there with Dodge.
The cabin experienced virtually no damage, but the frunk and the crumple zone absorbed nearly all of the impact. The California Highway Patrol, the emergency responders, and the tow truck driver were all quite surprised that they got out alive. He urges other Tesla drivers to drive slower in rainy conditions and disable.
I thought all Teslas had the trunk in the front.
Tesla was deemed a total loss by his insurance provider.
At Full Sail, our technology
I haven't paid attention to see did the other ones have that. How the engine in the front.
Driving his Model 3 down a highway in Fort Worth, Texas. It was 2 a.m. and Steve had just gotten off work at his job as a healthcare worker. All of a sudden, he watched a wrong-way driver hit the rear axle of a semi-truck before careening into him.
Boom! Fuck!
It was so hard that the Tesla cam broke and the video feed cut out at the moment of impact. Miraculously, Steve was unharmed in the accident and he was able to crawl out of the Tesla on the passenger side. Police responded to the scene and the driver of the pickup truck was arrested for driving under the influence. Steve's insurance provider declared his Tesla a total loss. Andrew was driving his Model 3 in Los Angeles, California when traffic backed up on US Route 101. He stopped, the car behind him almost stopped, but the car behind them hit them both at a highway speed.
Boom!
Miraculously, everyone involved in this accident walked away. Andrew had no idea how serious the crash was until the next day when he saw this video.
Damn.
His jaw absolutely hit the floor when he reviewed it. Andrew told us
I thought he was saying his jaw literally hit the floor in the crash. I said,
stared
damn.
around the vehicle in front of him. The Tesla missed the car by inches and probably saved him from injury and definitely saved them from insurance nightmares. The driver that had caused the accident paid for everything, including the medical bills of everyone involved. Andrew's Tesla was in the shop for 4.5 months, but it's now back on the road. The other 2 cars were totaled.
4.5 months. They could have kept that motherfucker. I want something new,
Here
man.
we see Curtis and his wife driving to dinner in their Model 3 Performance in San Antonio, Texas.
Not
As they
Curtis.
approached an intersection, the driver of a Mazda 5 made an illegal turn.
Come on, man.
When the car finally stops, we can actually see the hanging no left turn sign. The Mazda driver took full responsibility at the scene. Police and emergency services were called and nobody was taken to the hospital, but there were several people with minor injuries like cuts and bruises. The Model 3 was a total loss. Curtis got all of the money back for the car, plus all the extra features he paid for, including full self-driving, over $70,000 US in total. Curtis and his wife used the money to order another Model 3 Performance for him and a Model Y Performance for her. After going through such a bad accident, Curtis trusts Tesla more than ever with the safety of his family. All the airbags deployed, but Curtis told us he felt safe the entire time, even as his car was spun around. The Mazda hit the driver's door, where he was sitting, nearly dead center, and he firmly believes the amazing collision safety of the Model 3 kept him out of the hospital. Buckle up. Robbie was driving his Model 3 westbound on Highway 4 in Concord, California. Traffic came to a complete stop, and so did Robbie, but the car behind him didn't.
Boom! Damn!
Robbie's Tesla was rear-ended, causing it to spin around. He hit the Hyundai in front of him.
Bet you they were texting or something.
Left before he rolled into the barrier. The driver of the Dodge didn't see the traffic had stopped until he was just a car's length away from Robbie. That's when the driver locked up his brakes before hitting Robbie at full speed. Incredibly, everyone involved was able to walk away from the accident. Unfortunately, Robbie had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance for some of his injuries. He was able to show the police his Tesla Cam video while waiting for the ambulance to arrive. Robbie is now dealing with his insurance claim, and his car has been deemed a total loss. Once everything is settled, he'll be ordering a new Tesla since, according to him, his Model 3 saved his life.
Hey, man, I want to say this. Before watching that video, I felt like Tesla's was a bad idea, but bodywork wise, I got to give it to Tesla. They very strong. They built a good piece of bodywork. Like a lot of them cars, if they was regular cars, them cars would have been crushed, smushed, destroyed, decapitated. Them Tesla cars really held up. Really held up. But I'm still sticking with my first and what I said about the autopilot. If you ride autopilot, keep your hands on the steering wheel, stay alert, and always pay attention. Second, please, guys, do your best. Please do your best to do the right thing when you out here driving in these streets, because that small mistake can end somebody's life. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on all post notifications, share this video. It's free. Do it for me.